Alrighty, Wednesday, February 21st, we have a session recap here, starting off with ES. Now, coming into the session during the pre-market prep live stream, I reiterated the importance of the current structure. What we see here is an intermediate term range, meaning over the past couple of weeks, we have price essentially just trading sideways between that 50, 40, 50, 50 area and this 49.40. You could see pretty much visually just a sideways range there. Now, where this gets a bit tricky is when we actually look at the short term, meaning just the past couple of sessions, past 2 or 3 trading days. If I drop the time frame here down into the 30-minute, what you're going to see is a series of lower highs. I've rehashed this a number of times, so I'm not going to reiterate it here all that much, but essentially anytime you have multiple time frames showing any type of opposing direction or opposing bias, that is a red flag to stay nimble, to be doing less, to really make sure you're getting involved with strong areas, with high conviction plays, or just staying in cash and letting that high conviction setup, that high probability setup really develop. And that's exactly what we have currently as far as the conditions are concerned. So we have a near-term downtrend with an intermediate term range. Now, the main watch for today was to see whether or not buyers could defend this 49.75 / prior day low zone right through here. That's kind of the main watch. We do see a blip below, price finding a bit of a bid versus a more minor area of support. If we really zoom back here, you'll see there was some support through here, this 49.60 area. I'm treating this as more of a minor level, so I didn't have that level on watch today, but that is where price is finding a bit of a bid here into the afternoon. You could see the strength of this bounce, and really what we wanted to see for today's session was whether or not buyers could show that change in character of this near-term downtrend. That's going to align for a really nice long setup, assuming we can see price show that change in character with acceptance, meaning it sustains that new move. And so we do have NVIDIA earnings coming up after the bell here. That is going to be a market moving event, but essentially what we want to see for tomorrow is buyers continuing to defend this near-term area of support, again right here near the 49.75 area, and then from there showing that change in character, showing some action up and through the 49.86, the 49.90. Those are some of the recent lower highs, and then you could start to see a trend higher, a retest of the 5K, right? A retest of the 50-15, a retest of the 50-30. Still a lot of resistance to overcome, but this is kind of the first step to seeing that move higher. Now, keep an eye on NVIDIA earnings after the bell. It's absolutely going to have some implication for S&P and more so for NASDAQ. But so far, this action into the close is looking good for buyers. Now we just want to see, does that change in character actually materialize? Now, NQ, the setup is quite similar. The little difference here that we have in NQ, if you take a look at the daily time frame chart, is yesterday NQ, being the leader, starts to show a break of that most recent higher low. So that can be definitely a cause for concern for the buyers, especially with that 21 MA really starting to show price breaking below, holding below that 21 MA, and the 21 MA starting to flatten out. Now we have sustained action below that most recent higher low, below the 21 MA, still within the range, The kind of low point of that near-term range is really right through here, essentially yesterday's low. We did see a blip below yesterday's low today, if I kind of readjust the chart here, but no sustained trading below yesterday's low, right? Price has already recovered yesterday's low. So that 17,450 area is definitely going to continue to be an important level that we want to be keeping an eye on into tomorrow's session. That's going to be one of the main levels of interest, that 17,400, 17,450 area. And again, what we want to see here on NQ is whether or not buyers with this end of day bounce can show that change of character. Look at this series of lower highs here with that near-term trend, that near-term downtrend. So again, if buyers can go ahead and show that change of character, we'll be looking at a much better setup for longs, simply because, again, in the intermediate term, price is near the near-term range low. We just need this downtrend to start to show that change of character. So for tomorrow on NQ, main watch is going to be that 17,480 level of interest right through here. Very similar to what we were doing with ES, and frankly, very similar to what we are watching for today. Now, again, NVIDIA earnings going to be a market moving event most likely for NQ here. I can see that ES into fresh session highs here into the close. So definitely looking much better for bulls. Let's see if we could start to really see buyers force that change in character here. Now, as far as individual names, we're talking about Palo Alto Networks. This was on watch today for continued weakness. It did give that move. We did not get a true test of the trigger. That was based on the daily setup, that higher low right through here. Did not get a true test of the trigger, but the momentum move did pan out nicely, hitting PT1, PT2, and then down into the 200 MA. Want to treat this as a second day. Tomorrow we'll be looking to see how price trades versus today's low. Essentially that 200 MA, that's a second day play. Roku still working with the continuation move here. Had it on watch yesterday, hit first target. Was on watch again today, did not hit the target we were looking for. Still trading this gap fill idea. So we want to see the continuation in that one tomorrow. And then we do have ZS on watch. Must have been some news in here. I did not see what the headline was personally, but a big gap down is getting bought versus prior area of support. And so we're going to be looking for the second day trade here in ZS as well. Overall, some really great action today. Action in NQ was definitely superior in my opinion versus what we saw in ES. Just looking at the opportunities versus not only VWAP, but also our levels of interest, also that prior day low. Some great long opportunities versus NQ there. And then this downside level of interest at the 17,400, just giving a pretty much 100-point vertical move right back into those session highs. And so NQ going to be looking at, again, how price trades versus the 17,480 and today's session high. Hope everyone had a great session. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM in the Traders Think Tank. I'll see you tomorrow morning for the pre-market prep live stream. Have a great evening. Later.